What is up, YouTube friends, budgeting friends, debt freedom friends? My name is Sharia. This is the Sharia Mag channel where I am documenting my debt-free journey as an entrepreneurial licensed clinical social worker with a virtual private practice, also working part-time, along with my husband's income, who is a welder. So we will be getting right into budget October week 2 and 3 budgets because I'm trying to get caught up and I don't have time to waste. So we're going to jump right into the budget. All right. So as you can see, I start off with the monthly budget, and then I just go in and highlight what we are doing, what week we're working on. We work from pay period to pay period. The second week of October went from the 12th to the 19th. All right, and so you can see that our income for this week, the 12th through the 19th, was $443.11. That was my husband's paycheck. And that was because we went on vacation October the 4th through the 9th, I believe, for my birthday and our anniversary. Probably should have been at home, but it was actually the flight over there that made me think that I probably need to get in on top of my finances. So that check was low because he was missing some time, and then we had a leftover balance of $468.86, which brought our income to $911.97. From there, we did savings, and the savings that we were doing for that week was Christmas. Christmas gifts is a sinking fund, and it automatically gets $100 per month. And then my son's savings account that we will be rolling into a 529, or I think a UTMA account, got $10. And then my daughter, who's in college, her savings account for tuition and rent got $50. So that brought our savings to $110. Cricket Wireless is my husband's cell phone plan, and it is $58. Then we pay $41.63 for my son's instrument. He plays the trumpet, and Planet Fitness gets $25.05. I really want to take that down to $9.99, but I feel like the minute I do, my son will be like, "Mom, can I go with you to the gym?" And I'm gonna feel bad. So I keep that at $25.05. We probably won't be doing a lot of traveling, at least until the next summer. We have really decided to really focus on getting out of our credit card debt and then reassess then. And then my bonus son gets his regular weekly $100 in child support. So that brought our bills for that week to $224.68. Very low week. And I like to do it this way because it really gives me a glimpse on whatever bills could possibly be eliminated or at least lowered. And it doesn't look like any in this particular. We could go ahead and pay for the instrument, but this is my son's first year in band, and we're just not sure if he's going to stick with it or not. So we move over to expenses. Expenses total $310 for this month, or were anticipated. We put $100 towards groceries, and we actually spent $96.57. Shopping from home before you go to the grocery store has been very helpful, and it really fulfills me to see that we are actually using up the things that I purchased as opposed to throwing it away because it has gone bad. And last year, while I was on my 2 weeks off in December, I said I was going to go through my kitchen and completely clean my cabinets and get rid of stuff that was outdated. I ain't do it. So I really want to start doing that, incorporating that at the beginning, like in part of my monthly reset, because it's one thing when it just seems like for me, when I start to get my finances together, that motivates me to get other areas of my life together. Gas, we budgeted $135, and I don't quite know. I guess I could go back and see, what we actually spent, but the budget for it was $135, and then $25 did not go to my son's hair. No, it did. I'm sorry, it did. And then we put $50 towards toiletries. I have since decided that I want to go back in and make sure I'm very intentional about closing out the budget to give me an accurate reflection of what changes could be made. Now for debt. Debt on this week specifically was very high. So we had both of our Hilton American Expresses were $40. Now, these cards actually have a zero base balance. And so the payments that we would make on these cards actually go to our target debt. So what was due for this pay period was both of our Hilton American Expresses. Again, they're at a zero balance. So that was $80 that went towards the our target debt. And then on the 19th, my husband's PayPal was actually $41.46. And then my PayPal was $35. I think I paid $30. It was $35. No, it was $30. It was $30. And then Sam's Club was $29. And we did actually have to pay our Sam's Club. Well, we didn't have to pay it. We paid the Sam's Club card off. We have since used it again for our toiletries and our household expenses. And so until that, we will pay that off at the end of this November, or by the due date for November. But we didn't pay anything on it this time because it was paid off. So that $29 also went towards our target debt. Capital One is due on, we have a due date for Capital One is due on the 12th. That's what I thought. And the minimum payment is $25. And the goal is to go ahead and pay that balance off with my second paycheck from November. I have since decided that I don't want to do the avalanche method, although that financially makes the best sense, particularly when it comes to our credit cards. I need that instant win feeling, because not being able to make payments, not earning money on a daily basis, or having like weekly amounts to allot to credit card debt or paying down the debt makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. And so I need those instant wins. So the cards, especially with the low balances that I could potentially knock out with a full part-time paycheck, I'm just going to go ahead and start doing that, as opposed to trying to pay the higher balances to avoid the interest. I only have one other card that has interest. If I go to my debt dashboard, I only have one other card, I believe, that is accruing interest. The PayPal cards, we are being very intentional with paying the special finance balance purchases so that we're not accruing the interest on those. So we do that. And then Citi and Barclays are on 0% financing. So the only card until next year. So the only card that is actually accruing interest is the State Employees Credit Union credit card. But again, I need a win now. So that was the target card for October, and we did make significant progress on that, but not enough for me to be able to eliminate it like in the next week or two with my next paycheck. So I'm going to switch from that being the target and just continue to pay the monthly payment on that until I can pay off a balance, pay the balance off in one paycheck, which I'm feeling like will be January. And by January, we'll be putting my daughter's tuition back on the card. So don't know how that's going to work or how I'm going to feel about that. And then I do need to, in January, I will get to the point where I actually sit down and structure out, making sure that those zero interest cards will be paid off before the interest starts to accrue. So, that is where we are with week 2's budget. Oh, so if you go at the top, go to the top. Again, I didn't do really good with closing out this budget. So, that would have been a really good reflection of what we budgeted and what we actually spent. But because I didn't close it out, we're just going to move on to week 3. Week 3 was October the 19th to October the 26th. You'll see here that I was paid on, I want to say the 19th or the 20th. I also got my part-time pay check this week as well. And you will start to see those reflected in November's budget. But I'm just for the sake of the numbers already numbering, I'm not going to put that on this budget. So the income was projected at 18. My income was 1825.52. That's going to always be the same until I go in and change what I pay myself. And then my husband, again, because we took that vacation, he missed days from 1 week and then the second week. So his paycheck was $472.51. We just cannot afford at this time to take hits like that. So there will be no more vacationing anytime soon or any days off unless, it comes, if it's a health reason. So our income for that week was $2,298.03. We go down to savings and we saved $25 towards Christmas. Now this is an additional because I save and I know our money is together, but like I've been saving $50 or $100 per month for my kids. Like when I say my kids, like my kids, the kids that this sounds so mean, but the kids that I birthed, I was saving money for them because my husband and my stepson's mom don't necessarily include me in what they're going to buy for my stepson. So I was just making sure that I was able to cover my kids' Christmas. And then at the end of my husband is such a man's man. So he's literally out shopping, Christmas Eve for everybody. And that is stressful it's stressful on my part because I'm the one that has to be like, oh, you should get this for your mom, or what about this for your nieces? And he's just like, oh, I'm gonna pick up something to say I got them something. It'll be like lip gloss for his brother-in-law. It's just thoughtless. So I have been more intentional with making sure that I take money to throw into my Christmas sinking fund to make it our Christmas sinking fund. I hope that makes sense. So anyway, $25 came out for that, was contributed to our Christmas sinking fund. Again, the same $10 for my son's college fund. And then my daughter got $50. And then we did put vacation away this time, but it was at this point that I decided we ain't going nowhere. So this is going to stop. And it's $186 right now in that account, and we're going to take that. The plan is to take that and apply it to the next Target debt. And then so the Wells Fargo home mortgage came out on the 26th, as a matter of fact. So that came out, that was $548.52. And then we had our electric bill. The bills for this pay period were pretty high. And then we had our electric bill for $330. We had my stepson's child support. And that brought our weekly bills to $978.52. We go over to expenses. And I actually took one commenter's, I don't know if she's subscribed or not, but I took one commenter's advice and did withdraw the cash to go to the grocery store with my list. I shopped from home and then I created my meals and I went to the grocery store with $140. We ended up spending $99.69, and the cash was put back into the bank account, and actually I was able to put the difference on the Target debt. And then gas, we budgeted $135. We ended up spending $136.16, and that is my husband. First of all, so we drove the car that he drives, which is my paid off Honda, and I filled it up. It was $50, but he purchased a truck to flip, and he drove the truck. He had to put gas in the truck, and like all of this stuff was not brought to my attention. So it was $50 to fill up the Honda, but then I budget $65. So he put the other $10 in the truck, and then he drove the truck to work to like market it, I guess, to any of his coworkers. And then he had to put another $10 in the car to get it back home. And so, but we're only over $1.16, so not too bad. Then we $130 was budgeted for my nails and my wax my eyebrows and my mustache and all of that stuff. But as you can see, my nails still look horrible, and so that did not make it into the budget. I'm actually gonna go to the dollar store and get the stuff to take these off, and I'm gonna look and see if I want to. I was thinking today, I don't know if I want to get dip or if I'm just gonna let them breathe for a little while and get some fingernail polish, or if I just want to go get them a manicure and gel nails. But it won't be any more acrylic because they definitely need to breathe. But I do like color on my nails. As a therapist and a content creator and a YouTuber, which is the same as a content creator, I talk with my hands. And while I don't feel like I have to be perfect when I get on screen, I do like to be presentable. Like, this is just a preference for me. So, but I didn't get it done this week either. And it looks like we really couldn't have afforded it anyhow. Toiletries got $75, household got $50, and that was a payment made to our Sam's Club card. And then miscellaneous was $278.48. A good like 130 of this was because we took our son to the state fair, and that was because we promised to take my son to the state fair back in September when the county fair came. And even though I had got serious about like the numbers and the debt we're in and budgeting and stuff, a promise is a promise. So we did that. And then Google Domains, I don't know what domain this is, what I bought, but it came out for $12. And then we spent $89 even on buying food during that past week. But that did include food that we purchased at the fair, like so cotton candy, the fresh squeezed lemonade, those things. So then we go over to debt. My husband's PayPal payment was supposed to be $41.46. When he called to make the payment, they said he didn't owe anything, and he did not put that money back into the joint account. He kept it in his savings, in his checking account, which made me upset. And then my Citi card payment was $49, and that is what I paid. And then there was an Apple Card payment of $22.32. That was not budgeted for, and it should have came out of my business account because I used the Apple Card to buy me a new desktop. And I am paying that off with my business account because it is a business expense, and that was $22.32. So I may include that. I may just write me a check for $22.32 from my business, but I just want to check with my CPA to see if that needs to look a specific type of way. So the debt for this week was $90.46, and what we actually paid was $71.32. So if we go up to the budget versus the actual, and I am proud of myself for being able to, for being intentional about closing this out, because it made me realize that maybe we need to incorporate an expense for eating out. It's not looking like it's affordable at this moment, but it is definitely something we are probably going to do anyway. Like, we're going to Charlotte this weekend, and my husband was like, well, we need to have money to eat. And I'm like, no, we're going to eat from home on Friday when we leave. We're staying where they provide complimentary breakfast. We're going to my best friend's housewarming, and we're going to eat at her house, and then we're going to come home, and I'm going to cook Saturday. So we're going to go ahead and go to the grocery store, and I'm going to cook Saturday, and we're going to eat from home. That's how I'm anticipating it will go, but I don't know. So if we go to the budget versus the actual, the income was actual $2,298.03. We only saved $185. I wonder why. No, we saved the whole $100. We saved the whole $405 because he did put, did he? Yeah, he did. The $10 did go into, Yeah, so we did save the whole $405. Bills were actual $978.52. Expenses, we were anticipated $580, but we actually spent $740. And that really upsets me because $704.33 clear. 704.33 minus 580. That could have been $124 that went on a credit card payment, and maybe we could have been closer to paying it all. And then debt was $90.46, and the actual was $71.32. So it left us $102 remaining. So that is it for my budget. I like to do these to, not the actual recording the videos, but like watching the videos. I mean, doing the weekly budgets and making sure to close them out, because again, it helps me to figure out where corrections need to be made. I'm definitely giving grace to myself and not expecting me to have it all figured out, and not expecting my budgets to be perfect. And really learning how I can make changes and what things, are working for me and are not working for me. Being in debt and actually making a plan and working the plan can be very taxing on your mental health, even for me as a therapist. And so I'm trying to be very intentional with giving myself the grace that I encourage clients to give themselves. And I have to continue to recognize that sitting in my shame and my guilt and my disappointment and my regret is not going to do anything for me. The only thing that's going to make me feel better about the mistakes that I have made is to do something about them. And so, I constantly have to tell myself, as upset as I am that I am in 6-figure student loan debt, 5-figure credit card debt, and have this car, although I love my car, that has this high car payment, I'm doing something about it, and that's all that I can do. I can't go backwards and undo it. I can only move forward and do something about that. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you have any constructive criticism, any tips and tricks that you feel like will be helpful in any aspect of my weekly budgeting or monthly budgeting, please let me know down in the comment section. If you have not already subscribed, please consider doing so. It is free. And I would love to have you as part of this community. And do remember, don't be debt shamed, become debt free. I'm just gonna, make the plan and work it. And I'll be on the other side of this soon, as will you. So, come back for week 4's budget, November's budget, student loan payment. My first student loan payment is due, and I'm thinking of making that like a big thing. So again, if you have not already subscribed to follow this very long journey, but I'm hoping that I will be out of most of this by 45. I don't need to know the how. That's just what I know will be. So, thank you for watching if you watched thus far. Again, if you have any helpful tips or tricks about how I'm budgeting or about my budget altogether, make sure you list them down in the comments. Any words of encouragement would be helpful and greatly appreciated. And until next time, bye for now.